Part 24. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 233. In everyone's eyes, a man from the dust holding an umbrella appeared with a calm expression. It only took a few minutes to go from being admitted to the Buddha's kingdom to walking out. Has the Buddha kingdom in the palm been destroyed? How did it break? Could it be the big black umbrella in his hand? It's very possible that I sensed a strange aura from that big black umbrella. Many people gasped. Just now, they thought that Yang Hao would be trapped and die directly in the Buddha kingdom in the palm. At least he would be defeated on the invincible road, or at worst he would die on the spot. But what they didn't expect was that Yang Hao broke the Buddha kingdom in his palm in an instant and walked out majestically. The eyes of many people naturally fell on the black umbrella in Yang Hao's hand. In their opinion, Yang Hao has no real strength to destroy the Buddha kingdom in his hands, except with the help of divine objects. The monk is very interested in this sacred object of the donor. Can you let him have a look at it? Vishya Saint Boy also spoke at this time and said gently to Yang. Okay. Yang Hao heard the words and smiled. He handed the Yanjai umbrella over. The next moment, the Yanjai umbrella wildly surged out colorful Buddha light. The power was even more terrifying than the Buddha light in the Buddha's palm before. The donor's murderous intention is too great, and this is not good. Seeing this scene, Holy Boy Vaishya chuckled and clapped out a palm. Another breath of the Buddha's kingdom appeared in his palm, directly collecting the seven-colored Buddha light of the Evernight umbrella. But as the seven-colored Buddha light collected, Holy Boy Vaishya Tong's face turned slightly pale, and he knew he was not feeling well. Zhu Xian. Yang Hao responded calmly. The prehistoric killing array surged out. Tens of thousands of brilliance flickered. The instant killing array evolved into 4 divine swords. At this moment, the prehistoric killing array is about to transform into a small world. After adding the second formation of eyes, the transformation is even more terrifying, and the combat power far exceeds the previous one. The 4 divine swords directly turned into a mysterious formation, covering the Holy Boy of Vaishya. This is a brand new transformation after the transformation of the prehistoric killing formation in recent days. Change. But the power of killing immortals has surpassed the full strength of the Saint realm. Emperor Zun's killing formation is so terrifying. I didn't expect that the two sides would be evenly matched. It is Emperor Zun who has the upper hand. The Buddha kingdom in the palm of Holy Boy Vaishya was absorbed by the black umbrella. Holy Boy Vaishya has been cultivating here for 3,000 years, and his skills are not at all able to take advantage of the magic weapon. From this point of view, Holy Boy Vaishya is too disadvantaged. Yang Hao's prehistoric killing array evolved into the immortal killing form, instantly defeating the Saint Boy Vaishya. After analyzing it, many powerful Jidao people looked at each other in confusion. The conclusion they reached can be called crazy. A person in the realm of an emperor actually beat a sage. Is this the most evil genius of this era? Donor, the young monk is getting angry. The voice of Holy Boy Vaishya came again, and a more terrifying holy light came down. This holy light was like a copper wall and an iron wall. The Zuxian form evolved from the prehistoric killing array could not break through at all, and was washed by the holy light and was on the verge of collapse. Killing God. Yang Hao calmly controlled the prehistoric killing formation, evolved into the second form, completely chopped up the holy light of Holy Boy Vaishya, and at the same time killed Holy Boy Vaishya into 108,000 pieces. Amidba. The Holy Boy of Vaishya recovered again, reciting sutras orally, and the 10,000 feet of Dharma principles came towards him, ignoring the extreme destructive power of the prehistoric killing array at this moment. Time and space. Yang Hao evolved calmly. The prehistoric killing array turned into a line of bluestone and a hollow willow tree, and an eye suddenly opened behind it. In an instant, the 10,000 feet of legal principles were wiped out, and disappeared by the reversal of time and space. Hiss. The whole place was silent at this time. They anticipated the opening and thought that Yang Hao would be suppressed by the iron-blooded holy boy Vaishya who had become a sage. However, they did not expect that the situation would take a turn for the worse. Any method used by holy boy Vaishya would be easily suppressed by Yang Hao. No need to hide and tuck in. Use your avenue of darkness and your avenue of demons at the same time. If you dare to have murderous intention towards me, you will do it today. Yang Hao said lightly, as if he was angry with the holy boy of Visa. In fact, he didn't like to make noise during the battle. His style was to fight quickly and kill directly. But he was curious about the holy boy of Visa. The avenue of light, the avenue of darkness and the avenue of darkness are in opposition to each other. The avenue of Buddha and the avenue of demons are also opposites. Even if there is the avenue of fusion as a neutralizer, the two opposing avenues cannot coexist in such a tacit understanding. The holy boy of Vaishya is weird. So, he revealed without hesitation. The avenue of darkness, the avenue of demons. What's the meaning? Holy boy Vaishya comes from the holy land of 10,000 dharmas, how could he have such a great path? Did Emperor Zun see through something? Many extremely powerful people also heard Yang Hao's words and became curious. The three quasi-emperors of the eternal Holy Land also showed interest in their eyes at this moment. They, naturally saw through it long ago. They just didn't expect Yang Hao to be able to see it, which made them appreciate it very much. GG. In this case, I won't hide it anymore. I am so suffocated. After hearing this, the holy boy of Vaishya understood that if he didn't show his true strength, he would die on the spot in an instant. Instead of being killed by Yang Hao, it would be better to expose his strength and plunder Yang Hao's luck, and still have a chance. Vital. Suddenly, the whole body of holy boy Vaishya emitted rays of demonic aura, and his extremely white skin cast out jet black auras, which looked strange and evil. Even the originally holy face of holy boy Vaishya was transformed in an instant. Transformed into ferocious beasts and ghosts. The transformation is not over yet. What is this change? A human figure actually appeared behind the holy boy Vaishya. I see. This is not the holy boy Vaishya, but the great demon who came from a different space and was suppressed by Delodo temple. There was actually a big demon who survived and took the body of the holy boy Vaishya. I see. It is not that the holy boy Vaishya has reached the realm of sages after sitting for 3,000 years in cultivation, but that this big demon itself has reached such a realm. A series of shocked voices sounded. After seeing the transformed form of holy boy Vaishya, they all understood everything instantly. One side is dark and the other side is light. One side is demonic, and the other side is holy. He chants Buddhist principles, but in reality he is extremely evil. This is simply not possible because the skills, supernatural powers, or avenues can change. Only a great demon from another space could evolve into such a form. Big monster. Yang Hao looked at the current form of the holy child of Vaishya and suddenly understood. He knew about demons. Back then, there was a broken alien space passage in the western desert, and a group of great demons from the alien space came. But although these great demons are very powerful, but unfortunately the world they came to was even more terrifying. Not long after they arrived, they were all suppressed by a sleeping quasi-emperor. Some died on the spot, and some were used for research and completely sealed. However, because of the suppressor the quasi-emperor of the great demon later fell, and some of the seals of these suppressed great demons were loosened and broke out, bringing disaster to the western desert. This incident was regarded as an anecdote and spread widely throughout the world. I never thought that I would witness it with my own eyes today. He killed a big demon and was his first opponent in the invincible path. He was also a strangely tight opponent. GG. The little monk is not a big demon. The little monk's body was not taken away, but the little monk killed the big monster. The young monk's name is Two-Faced Buddha. GGG. The words fell to the ground. Billions of miles of desert instantly turned into scorched earth. Tens of meters of demonic energy soared into the sky, and the whole world seemed to be melted by the demonic energy. But what is extremely strange is that there are constant auspicious clouds in the sky and Buddha's light is everywhere on the ground. The contradictory and conflicting avenues burst out with devastating power. The land shrouded by the demonic Buddha land is the avenue of chaos. Ah! Help! Many of the powerful Jidao people who were watching the battle were killed on the spot by this sudden killing force and turned into the innocent souls of the Buddha land. If it weren't for the timely action of many extremely powerful sages and quasi-emperors, they would have wiped out the strange Buddha earth. Ping. But Yang Hao, who was in the core area, did not take care of him. In the Battle of Woody Road, you cannot interfere. This is the rule. Even the quasi-emperor must follow the rules. Interesting. However, if that's all it is, it really disappoints me. At this time, Yang Hao's indifferent voice was heard. Facing the holy boy Vaishya who transformed into a two-faced Buddha, the eternal night umbrella in front of him blocked all harm. At the same time, the road to hell appeared in his hand. He was a little bit looking forward to it. How splendid his underworld method will bloom against the demonic Buddha land of hundreds of millions of miles. But at this moment, something unexpected happened to Yang Hao. The grass that had been held in the corner of his mouth suddenly trembled. Suddenly. Instantly. Disappeared without a trace. The next moment, all the extremely powerful Jidao masters were shaken. A terrifying heavenly sword fell from the sky. It was as if it was going to separate the entire world, cutting off the eternity of time. The sword body was still there. Before it fell, the sword energy had already wiped out everything in the Buddha land in an instant. Then, the sword fell. The two-faced Buddha who was caught off guard was separated into two sections on the spot. Billions of miles of demonic Buddha land were wiped out in an instant. He did not wait for the two-faced Buddha to recover. The flickering golden immortal matter began to separate and collapse. The breath of flesh and blood of the two-faced Buddha immediately went towards the sword body, and instantly turned into a human body. A sage fell unexpectedly. Even Yang Hao blinked, his face changed slightly. Please download the novel without underlining. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 234. Yang Hao was in a daze. His body was a little weak at the moment, as if it had been squeezed dry. Even his temples had a trace of gray, and then recovered instantly. He naturally knew where the sword that had cut through eternity had come from. Great Wild Sword. The power of this extremely powerful imperial weapon is truly terrifying, and it does not live up to its reputation as the ultimate killer. But, from the beginning to the end, he never thought of using the Great Desolate Sword. The consumption of the Jidao Emperor's soldiers was terrifying, and he knew it well. Although the two-faced Buddha is powerful, he is confident that he can suppress it. In this case, there is no need to use the Great Desolate Sword. Just like that, the Great Desolate Sword actually took action on its own. This sword is earth-shattering. The power was so terrifying that even the faces of the quasi-emperors watching the battle changed slightly. But equally, the consumption is also terrifying and staggering. At this time, almost all the spiritual power in Yang Hao's body had been drained out. Not only that, that sword strike just now consumed his entire 100 years of life. There is also a lot of understanding of the laws of the stars. What really shocked Yang Hao was that the Great Desolate Sword not only devoured his lifespan, but also devoured his understanding of the law. Just after the sword strike, his understanding of the law disappeared from his memory. This shocked his heart at the same time. But he felt a little bit displeased with the Great Desolate Sword. No wonder several incarnations of the Emperor had nothing to say about the Great Desolate Sword. This Great Desolate Sword was so magical. Not only would it lose control, but it would also devour the understanding of the law. This made him even want to kill the great desolate sword immediately. The thoughts contained in the sword sent back to the holy land of eternal life. Although the law perception can rely on the system's automatic perception and consumption of points to make up for it. However, the law of fate cannot. Even if the system can automatically comprehend it, it still needs the law of existence before it can comprehend it. The law of fate does not exist at all, existing in an ordinary place. Fortunately, he only swallowed the law of stars. If it were to swallow the law of his destiny, he would cry without tears. After the invincible road, this sword will never be used again. Yang Hao secretly thought in his heart and made up his mind. However, the next moment, that piece of grass returned to his side again, and a steady stream of power surged from the grass. This is the law of light, the law of darkness, and the law of the stars. Yang Hao's eyes moved. A stream of extremely pure power of law poured into his sea of spiritual energy from the grass. In addition to the law of stars, the other laws are the power of the great avenue controlled by the two-faced Buddha. The star law that was just consumed has returned. Not only that, but also brought back the power of other laws. Although I have not understood these laws, they still exist in my sea of spiritual energy. This great sword. Yang Hao was shocked. The unhappiness he felt just now faintly dissipated. Even he can't escape the law of true fragrance. He has understood. The great desolate sword does not swallow the power of the law, but borrows it. Using the power of law to kill is similar to my imperial envoy Huan Quanlu. Not only did he not devour the power of my law, he even absorbed the power of the law and returned. This is very similar to the characteristics of the Yanjai umbrella. Let's take another look. Yang Hao felt the law of stars returning in his body and took the grass into his mouth again. Kindness. At this moment, Yang Hao felt another breath movement coming from him. After killing the two-faced Buddha, Yang Hao could clearly sense that there was a terrifying aura on his body. Is this the prototype of invincible momentum? It has the power of coercion. If the invincible momentum is achieved, it is very likely that it can overwhelm the opponent's realm, making it impossible for the opponent to attack with all his strength. Yang Hao's eyes moved, feeling that there was more momentum in his body. This momentum, without thinking too much, he knew that the invincible momentum was condensed. It reminded Yang Hao of some pressure coming from the secret realm. For example, the True World God back then formation. All the strong men who entered the True Realm God formation were suppressed to the level of eternal giants. That pressure was very similar to the pressure that was born around him now. In addition, there was also a slight change in my Taoist heart. It's just not obvious. According to what the immortal emperor said, the transformation of Taoist heart is the greatest benefit of the invincible road. Just keep going. Yang Hao didn't even look at the corpse of the two-faced Buddha, which was already like a mummy. At this time, the invincible road had once again appeared on the Tongtian Avenue when the two-faced Buddha fell. He didn't care about the onlookers from all directions, and directly set foot on the invincible road, heading towards the unknown again. Where is the end point? Yang Hao thought about things for a long time, but in fact it only lasted a moment. Just now, was that the Jidao Emperor's weapon? Only the Jidao Emperor's soldiers can be so powerful. No wonder the Emperor dared to embark on the road of invincibility. It turned out that he was protected by the Emperor's soldiers. Emperor Zun's enemies will be in dire straits next. Once the Jidao Emperor soldiers come out, there will be no way for them to survive. It's hard to say. If the opponent that Emperor Zun challenges is within the Holy Land, his opponent will most likely also have the right to borrow the Jidao Emperor's weapons. A series of discussions finally started. Those who can survive under the millions of demonic Buddha lands of two-faced Buddha are all truly strong. They can naturally know that the heavenly sword fell just now, not because of Yang Hao's strength, but because of the Supreme Dao Emperor armament. But no one said anything. Invincible road, no restrictions. It is also Yang Hao's ability to have the ultimate emperor's weapons. Of course, the Jidao emperor's soldiers also made countless people's eyes and hearts flutter. I don't know how many greedy eyes have been fixed on Yang Hao. If it weren't for the large number of saints protecting him in the holy land of eternal life, Yang Hao would have been robbed and ambushed before he even had time to reach his second opponent. Pity. There is no if. With the support of powerful forces, Yang Hao had no worries at all. Next, he was still in the western desert, fighting 3 people one after another along the invincible road. Everyone is no longer the peerless genius of his generation, but a hidden sage or a powerful person in the Holy Land. Faced with Yang Hao, who was armed with Jidao Emperor's weapons. Even if you are a sage, you will only end up drinking hatred. The only hard fight occurred with the 4th man on the invincible road. That person is an old monster hiding in the Holy Land of the Sun. He has the right to borrow the Sun Holy Land Jidao Emperor's weapons. Then, the 4th battle of Invincible Road. A battle between the Jidao Emperor's soldiers occurred. The great wilderness sword collides with the Sun God's furnace, the ultimate Emperor's weapon in the Holy Land of the Sun. Yang Hao had a crazy fight with this ancient sage. In the end, everything in the billions of miles radius was destroyed, and even less than half of the Holy Land of the Sun under the protection of the Quasi-Emperor was destroyed. It's enough to see how terrifying and fierce the battle is. The result was naturally the death of this ancient sage from the Holy Land of the Sun. The great wilderness sword is too powerful. The Sun God furnace is slightly inferior. Yang Hao did not fall behind in the face of this ancient sage. The outcome is already determined. Yang Hao once again embarked on the road to invincibility. After 4 consecutive battles along the way, the world has completely recognized him, knowing that Yang Hao has reached the terrifying strength of a sage even without the Jidao Emperor soldier. After the 4th war, Yang Hao left the western desert and entered the land of Zhongzhou. At this moment, a figure slowly appeared in the holy land of eternal life, with a surging breath. Lord Longshan, you are back. Congratulations to Lord Longshan for becoming a saint. Lord Longshan, unparalleled in the world. One after another figures came out, constantly complimenting and greeting this tall, elegant young man with a gentle face. This elegant young man is none other than the Holy Son of Light from the previous generation, and he is also the Lord of Longshan who has passed through the 9 tribulations of heaven and man. You're welcome. But I'm not a saint yet. I want to walk the path of invincibility and become a hero in the world. Lord Longshan smiled shyly and said in a calm tone. When he finished speaking, he found that there was a sudden silence all around. I would like to ask you, is there anything wrong with what I said? Lord Longshan looked around with some confusion and asked seriously. Lord Longshan, Invincible Road. Someone is already walking. And there's bad news. When you entered the secret realm to experience, the Holy Son of Light, now the Emperor, emerged from the sky and became the destined Holy Lord of my holy land. Not only that, he also passed through the 9 tribulations of heaven and man in a very short time. Now he has become an emperor and his combat power has reached that of a sage. One by one, the powerful men of the Holy Land of Eternal Life told Lord Longshan the news about Yang Hao. After hearing this, Lord Longshan was stunned and did not speak for a long time. I see. I understand, Emperor Zun is more suitable for the position of Holy Lord than me, so I will give it to Emperor Zun. They are all the geniuses of the eternal Holy Land. I admire him very much and want to see his grace. After Lord Longshan was silent for a moment, he slowly said with a smile. His words were like the spring breeze blowing on the face, making people feel relaxed and happy. But no one saw that there was a cold glimmer in his eyes. As expected of Lord Longshan, he is too magnanimous. Now the Emperor's invincible road has entered Zhongzhou and should soon arrive near the Qincan Holy Land. If we rush there now, we should be able to make it in time. One voice after another said to Lord Longshan again. Zhongzhou, near the holy land of Qinqin. That's a forbidden area for eternity. Listen to what you said, there is a powerful being resurrected in the eternal forbidden zone. Oh no. Emperor Zun's junior brother Wudi may encounter alien races on his way. When Lord Longshan heard the words, his face changed slightly and he immediately judged. In the next moment, he turned into a meteor and disappeared instantly. His speed reached the extreme, even faster than the Shenzhou. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 235. Zhongzhou. Yang Hao walked slowly on the invincible road. The fifth battle has ended. A sage from the Taiyan Holy Land who mastered the 6 avenues has just been suppressed by him. Next, is the Holy Land of Qinqin. As long as they are opponents of the Holy Land, almost all of them have the ultimate Emperor's weapons. However, I have improved in battles. After 5 battles, my invincible aura has taken shape, and my invincible Taoist heart has begun to gather. Not only that, on the road to invincibility, as each battle ended, my understanding of the law actually increased. It has nothing to do with the great desolate sword, but the help brought by the invincible road. Yang Hao's eyes flashed with divine light, and he summarized while walking. At this moment, the laws in his body were shining brightly, blooming with brilliance, including the laws of fate. But what surprised Yang Hao the most was the invincible momentum. As his invincible momentum became more and more powerful, it turned out that as expected, he could overwhelm his opponent and suppress his opponent's state to a certain extent. This is why he became more and more relaxed after consecutive battles. Yang Hao was secretly grateful to the legacy of the Eternal Emperor. Soul. If it hadn't been reminded several times by the soul of the Eternal Emperor, he most likely would not have embarked on the path of invincibility, and naturally he would not have received such benefits. If the road to invincibility comes to an end, it is very likely that not only will the invincible Taoist heart and invincible aura be developed, but my laws may also undergo transformation. It is even possible to open up a second or third avenue before becoming a saint. Yang Hao's walking speed on the invincible road is not very fast, but in fact, every step on the invincible road is like shrinking into an inch, and one step is thousands of miles away. Soon, as Yang Hao guessed, he arrived at the 6th battle, the place where the opponent is. Holy Land of Qinqin. Half a day later, the Battle of Holy Land of Qinqin came to an end. An ancient sage was suppressed by Yang Hao. This sage was also the darling of the times in the past, but he was pushed aside by Yang Hao on the spot. After his death, he became Yang Hao's a stepping stone to help him take another step forward. There is no grievance or enmity between the two. Even the opponents Yang Hao fought before, including the two-faced Buddha, have no direct relationship. But this is how it is in this world. Do nothing, just do nothing. Maybe it's an ant. When you become stronger, there will always be endless opponents coming to your door. Maybe there is no intersection between the two of you, but your strength is a sin. Cultivation is all about fighting. In the later stage, both sides are extremely powerful. If you can't go further, you can only advance through other means. The simplest is to kill all enemies, plunder other people's luck, and sublimate yourself. If I don't kill you now, we will meet on a narrow road in the future, and the fight will be more cruel and fierce. This is why some people call the invincible road the ominous invincible road. Once the invincible road appears, it will be a relentless killing spree. It is ominous for those who take the invincible road and the opponents selected by the invincible road. Let alone the invincible road. When you reach the end, you will encounter various sniper attacks after ascending to the god list. Where will the next battle be? Have you left Zhongzhou? Yang Hao's eyes were sharp, looking at the end of the invincible road, not knowing where it was leading. When he took a short step again, the invincible road was drooping down, winding towards the place of great danger. This is Eternal Forbidden Area. Could it be that the opponent in the next battle will be a foreign race? Yang Hao's heart moved. He had just walked out of the Eternal Forbidden Zone and knew how terrifying the Eternal Forbidden Zone was now. The invincible road leads to the Eternal Restricted Area. What should we do? Nowadays, the foreign race in the Eternal Restricted Area has resurrected. If we step into it, we will be at endless disadvantages. Indeed, there is some trouble. Emperor Zun's next opponent should be a peerless monster resurrected from a foreign race, maybe an ancient prince. Voices came one after another. These voices came from the saints who protected Yang Hao. They looked at the invincible road leading to the Eternal District, and they all felt a little embarrassed subconsciously. It is too dangerous to be in the Eternal Restricted Area. Not only corpse slaves, alien ferocious beasts and dead lands, but also the resurrection of alien races in the current Eternal Forbidden Zone. Although they have great momentum, they are not sure about such a dangerous place like the Eternal Forbidden Zone. Since I am protecting the way for the Emperor, I will protect him wherever he goes on the invincible road. Zhongwu spoke calmly at this moment, and was the first to follow Yang Hao's invincible path towards the Eternal Restricted Area. Many saints hesitated when they saw Zhongwu flying away. There were also many powerful beings such as the ancient dragon saint and the Qin saint who followed Zhongwu directly. Let's go. What about the Eternal Restricted Area? Wherever the invincible road passes, it sweeps across everything. Many saints from the Holy Land of Eternal Life looked at the quasi-emperor. Emperor Huai said lightly. At the same time, the ancient emperor and the blood emperor on the side took steps to follow the invincible road. Seeing the three quasi-emperors Jing Kong, those who hesitated, the saints only hesitated for a moment, and then chose to follow them all. Even the quasi-emperor was in front, so what did they have to fear? Is the Holy Land of Eternal Life crazy? This is an Eternal Restricted Area. If you enter now, aren't you afraid of starting a war? The invincible road leads to the Eternal Restricted Area. To enter, or not to enter? Seeing many powerful people in the Holy Land of Eternal Life following the invincible road into the Eternal Forbidden Zone, many of the powerful people in the Ultimate Way who followed and watched the battle hesitated. This was not a situation they expected at all. Who could have thought that the invincible road would continue into the Eternal Restricted Area? The powerful men of the Eternal Holy Land dared to walk there to protect Yang Hao, but there was no need for them to risk their lives just to watch the battle. That's all, I won't go to the Eternal Restricted Area. Me too, just wait for the invincible road to come out. Still want to get out? There are too many weird things in the Eternal Forbidden Zone, I'm afraid it will fall apart. Otherwise, most of the extremely powerful people who entered the Holy Land of Eternal Life this time would probably also perish. One after another, the figures stopped with great reason. The extremely strong men from the Eternal Holy Land came out in droves and were very powerful. Even the aliens in the Eternal Forbidden Zone need to be vigilant. But it is an Eternal Restricted Area after all, and there are endless dangers hidden inside. Even if there is a quasi-emperor protecting the way, it may not be completely safe. Just follow me to the outside of the Eternal Forbidden Zone. If the invincible road continues to extend into the depths, there will be no choice but to stop. There are also extremely talented and brave extreme masters who follow the path of invincibility and make plans in advance. When they followed Woody Road, they were shocked to find that Woody Road really stopped at the edge of the Eternal Forbidden Zone. That is. The eyes of these powerful men gathered together, looking directly at the place where the golden light of invincible road fell. There, a handsome man with purple energy lingering all over his body and 8 pairs of wings spread out behind him walked out. Emperor Zun. No need to go any further, your opponent is this king. The handsome man smiled and said casually to Yang Hao. Behind him, figures walked out one after another. Yang Hao's eyes moved slightly, and he saw several familiar figures in an instant. The ancient king of the holy ape, the great celestial lion, and the great golden crow's son, one after another, all figures followed humbly behind this eight-feather man. Master, he is the ancient king of Ninghuang. He is the direct bloodline of a great emperor of the immortal Phoenix clan in the past. He is extremely powerful and controls the entire 8 avenues. He has just recovered. When Yang Hao cast his eyes indifferently in front of these aliens who were walking out, Yang Hao's ears heard the message from the Golden Crow Master. When he left the Eternal Forbidden Zone that day, he released the Golden Crow Master, and it came in handy now, telling him all the information about his opponents in this battle. The blood of the alien emperor. I heard that the blood blessings of foreign races are no worse than the various physiques of my human race, which is somewhat interesting. Yang Hao chuckled, looking at the ancient king of the underworld, his fighting spirit rising. He knew very well that the invincible road did not end here, but continued to wind into the depths of the eternal restricted area. Since the other party took the initiative to step out, it was certainly not for him. Security considerations. There are secrets in the Eternal Forbidden Zone. Whether it is the powerful quasi-emperor who is about to resurrect, or some secrets of the alien race's layout, these are what the alien race needs to hide now. The Golden Crow Grand Master is constantly sending news one after another. Yang Hao understands if there were not 3 quasi-emperors accompanying him on this trip, these alien races, mainly the ancient king of the underworld, might hide in the depths of the Eternal Forbidden Zone and bloodbath all the strong men, including him. In this case, come up and die. The thoughts turned around, Yang Hao looked at the ancient king of the underworld in front of him and said calmly, "Ha ha ha ha. It's so arrogant. Today I will bury the human slave genius here to let you know about our return." Hearing Yang Hao's words, the ancient king of the underworld gave a long laugh and waved his 8 wings. Suddenly, the world seemed to be extinguished. For hundreds of millions of miles, there were purple-black divine fires floating out, which was extremely terrifying. "Little guy, this is the 8 divine phoenix fires, the secret technique of the former foreign emperor. I hope you don't die here." At this time, a calm voice came from Yang Hao's ears. Then, a handsome figure wearing purple and gold divine robes appeared beside the 3 quasi-emperors of the eternal Holy Land. "Oh! Emperor Hao! You were born too?" Emperor Huai on the side said casually as he looked at the purple-gold divine figure. This suddenly appeared figure was the quasi-emperor of the Yin-Yang Holy Land, Emperor Hao. Stay away from Emperor Zun. If you want to be interested in him, you are still a little behind the ancient emperor. Beside Emperor Huai slowly opened his eyes and said calmly. "Ah." Emperor Hao chuckled lightly and said casually, "Why should the ancient emperor do this? A man of knowledge does not speak secretly. You also started the road to invincibility in the Dark Ages and ranked on the emperor's list. Are you not tempted by him? Please download the novel without underlining. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 236. Only when the invincible road comes to an end do we need to consider these issues. Besides, he is just a junior. Compared with him, I am more interested in Emperor Hao. The ancient emperor glanced at Emperor Hao calmly and said slowly. "Oh. If you want to take action against this emperor, you should try again on the road to enlightenment." Emperor Hao smiled and looked intently at Yang Hao, who was trapped in the 8 divine phoenix fires, and said, "But you are right about one thing. Ancient King Nether Phoenix is very powerful, he may not be his opponent. His path to invincibility was unlucky enough to coincide with the resurgence of the alien race, and Ancient King Nether Phoenix was most likely to be his strongest enemy on the path to invincibility." His words made the 3 quasi-emperors of the Holy Land of Eternal Life surprisingly not refute. Ancient King Nether Phoenix is really powerful. Even the quasi-emperors recognized it. In their eyes, Yang Hao was exposed to the 8 divine phoenix fires and encountered the purple and black fire burned, and the body was burned and broken. According to legend, the 8 divine phoenix fires require the blood of a foreign emperor to evolve. He can sacrifice the emperor into it and incinerate it alive without even having to meet him. Not only that, the ancient king of the Dark Phoenix happens to control 8 avenues, each of which is smooth, blending into each other and integrated into the 8 divine phoenix fires. Its power is unparalleled. Even if we are trapped in it, we will have to use some means to get out of trouble. If the emperor borrows the imperial weapon to become the Emperor Mountain, he will be in an invincible position. But the Jidao Emperor weapon he borrowed from the Holy Land was the ultimate killing weapon, but it fell short. The Blood Emperor communicated with the ancient emperor through sound transmission, frowning slightly, with a worried look in his eyes. Are you going to use your ultimate imperial weapon? Useless. The ancient king of Ming Huang stood opposite Yang Hao at this moment, looking down like a king and smiling indifferently. Since he took the initiative to go out to meet the enemy, he naturally knew the details of Yang Hao. In his opinion, even if Yang Hao uses the Jidao Emperor armament, it is not necessarily possible to break his 8 divine phoenix fires. Thinking of this, ancient King Ning Huang sneered. Master, this divine fire is very terrifying. Each divine fire seems to contain a world. I feel that there are many avenues contained in it. This ancient king of Pluto Phoenix masters at least more than 6 avenues. Your killing formation has not yet completely aligned with the Great Avenue, and without the power of the world, it is extremely difficult to defend against the divine fire. Yang Hao frowned slightly, and Yunyin's reminder came to his ears. He knew that ancient King Nether Phoenix was most likely to be stronger than his opponents in previous battles. However, he did not expect that the opponent's 8 divine phoenix fires would be so terrifying. Among the divine fires, they are all fused with the great avenues, completely enveloping him. Even a small destiny spell cannot dispel these divine fires that envelop the great avenues and the power of the world. It's a bit bad. I didn't expect ancient King Nether Phoenix to be so powerful. The 8 divine phoenix fires mentioned by Emperor Hao are so mysterious. I heard that this is a terrifying method that can only be performed by the blood of the great emperor. Even the Emperor Zun can't resist. Is this the strongest among the alien races? There were many onlookers, and they all frowned when they saw Yang Hao in desperate situation. If Yang Hao fights with other powerful people from the Holy Land, their positions will be different. But facing the alien race, all the strong men hope that Yang Hao can suppress them. But the scene in front of me is not like that. However, Zhang Wu frowned slightly when she saw this scene, a little anxious for Yang Hao. She also sensed the power of ancient King Nether Phoenix. But when she saw the familiar smile on the corner of Yang Hao's mouth, she felt a little anxious in her heart. Let go of your worries slightly. It seems that Hao should be somewhat confident. Zhang Wu's beautiful eyes flickered and she looked straight at Yang Hao. Something interesting. Yang Hao is indeed smiling at this moment, and he is not panicking at all. He naturally heard Yunyin's reminder. As his strength has improved by leaps and bounds, the enemies he faces now are no longer what Yunyin can understand. In addition, no one knows better than him how powerful he is at this moment. These days, as his strength improves, he constantly tries to improve himself. His understanding is very terrifying, and his foundation is extremely powerful. He can easily change the previous ones. Many confusions were integrated. As he embarked on the road to invincibility and fought against the most powerful opponents, he was making rapid progress every moment and was in a state of enlightenment. Looking at the purple divine fire burning in all directions. In his eyes, there was a deep blue divine light. The bright flickering, gray aura of destiny was revealed. The first method he created has been perfected by him again. The law of reincarnation of destiny. Yang Hao was burned by the 8 divine phoenix fires, and his divine body collapsed and was restored by the immortal substance. However, his whole body evolved an endless and mysterious aura in the next moment. He actually integrated his understanding of destiny into the first Phelan method he created. Destiny reincarnation. In an instant, terrifying power erupted. The 8 divine phoenix fires in all directions began to roll back, as if they were directly dispersed by heaven and earth. They disappeared almost instantly. What's this? When ancient King Ning Huang saw this scene, he was stunned. He didn't expect that Yang Hao didn't play according to common sense. The method just now was so mysterious and wonderful that even he couldn't figure it out in an instant. Not good. Before ancient King Ning Huang could react, a sword energy soared into the sky. Huangquan Road. Yang Hao held Huangquan Road in his hand and killed him directly towards ancient Ning Huang King. At the same time, the prehistoric killing formation also evolved into a god-killing spear, accompanying Huangquan Road, attack at the same time. The terrifying power of the killing array takes the lead, completely breaking through some of the defenses around ancient King Nether Phoenix. King. Careful. On the alien side, several powerful great masters were moved and reminded anxiously. The situation took a turn for the worse. The great desolate killing formation tore through ancient King Nether Phoenix's defense. Almost instantly, Huangquan Lu, who was following behind, penetrated ancient King Nether Phoenix's body. As ancient King Nether Phoenix widened his eyes in disbelief, his aura began to wither quickly. The 5 elements avenue mixed with Yang Hao's 8 laws attached to the body of ancient King Nether Phoenix, and was instantly annihilated. His life aura began to wither. Even the bloodline of the great emperor cannot save the ancient king of Nether Phoenix at this time. Yang Hao's killing attack is extremely terrifying. Has ancient King Nether Phoenix fallen? How can it be? It's incredible, this is the bloodline of the alien emperor. By what means did Emperor Zun break the 8 divine phoenix fires? Even the Jidao Emperor's weapons have never been used. It seems that the aliens are nothing more than this. Shocking sounds came one after another, and just now they thought that Yang Hao was facing a desperate situation, but no one expected that the situation would change drastically in an instant, and the ancient king of Nether Phoenix was killed in one blow. This made them think for a moment that ancient King Nether Phoenix was not as powerful as they thought. Aliens, it seems, is nothing more than that. Even the 4 quasi-emperors present were stunned. They didn't expect the change to happen so quickly. Yang Hao was still in danger just now, but in the blink of an eye, he killed ancient King Ning Huang. Junior brother emperor, be careful. The royal bloodline of the immortal Phoenix clan has the characteristic of nirvana. The ancient king of the Phoenix will enter nirvana instantly after his death, and his strength will rise to the next level in one day. After his death, it is very likely that he will temporarily reach the ultimate sage combat power. At this moment, a figure appeared. Seeing this scene, he was not surprised, but immediately reminded Yang Hao. Lord Longshan. Didn't he enter a secret realm? How can I get out? This person has not yet become a saint. It seems that he really cares about Emperor Zun and came here deliberately. This figure was recognized by many people as soon as it arrived. It was Lord Longshan. At this time, he watched the ancient king of Ming Huang being suppressed by Yang Hao, and immediately reminded him. The 4 quasi-emperors suddenly came to their senses after hearing what Lord Longshan said. They were born in the Dark Ages and do not have a clear understanding of the alien races that had been completely suppressed in the ancient times. What Lord Longshan said was an absolute secret that even they had never known. Thank you. Yang Hao felt a little strange in his heart at this moment. The opponent was killed so easily by him, which made him feel a little strange. Although the 8 divine phoenix fires are very terrifying, compared with the enemies in the previous battles, they are not special. Powerful. I didn't expect that the bloodline of the ancient king of the underworld Phoenix actually has similar characteristics to the Nirvana divine body. It's just that compared to the permanent increase in power after the death of the Nirvana divine body, the nirvana effect brought by the bloodline of the ancient Pluto Phoenix is a temporary increase, but I heard Lord Longshan's reminder made him feel awe-inspiring in his heart. The ultimate sage fighting power. He has seen such fighting power before. Zhongwu has such fighting power. Killing ordinary sages is like killing a dog. He. There are actually people who know the characteristics of my bloodline, which makes me a little surprised. After this war, are you interested in becoming my slave? At this moment, indifferent words came from the fallen body of ancient King Nether Phoenix. These words were not addressed to Yang Hao, who was his opponent, but to Yang Hao, who was his opponent. Said to Lord Longshan. Before Lord Longshan could respond, the terrifying aura of ancient King Nether Phoenix instantly fell on Yang Hao. 8 pagodas. His words fell to the ground. The terrifying purple fire that was about to extinguish turned into 8 dragons and fought towards Yang Hao. Suddenly, the world seemed to be completely burned. One after another, the dragon fire broke Yang Hao's reincarnation method. Yang Hao's reincarnation method. Hao, once again fell into the realm of life and death. Fei. Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 237. 8 avenues, falling down, turned into terrifying divine fire dragons. Completely surrounded Yang Hao. The ancient killing formation guarding Yang Hao began to be burned and shattered by the divine fire. If it weren't for the 2 large formation eyes in the primordial killing formation, they were trembling crazily and blooming with divine flowers. It's hard to say that just in this moment, Yang Hao's ancient killing formation was completely shattered for the first time. Only when you are there can you know how terrifying these dragons of divine fire are. Each divine fire dragon is more than 10 times more powerful than the previous 8 divine phoenix fires. From the time when the prehistoric killing array was gathered until now, Yang Hao has never encountered such a terrifying scene. 8 pagodas. Is this the ultimate sage fighting power? Yang Hao took a deep breath, and he could already feel the terrifying power within it. The ancient king of Nether Phoenix who had resurrected from the dead was too powerful. Although he didn't know how he did it. But he could clearly sense 8 of them. Each of the avenues has undergone a qualitative change compared to the previous one. Even the Gu Longshan and literary sage he had met in the past have never controlled so many avenues. He who controls an avenue knows very well that the more avenues he controls, the more important it is for him. The requirements for one's own background are higher. Originally, ancient King Nether Phoenix controlled 8 avenues, many of which were special avenues. But now, after falling once, all of them have undergone qualitative changes and leaps. This is enough to show that ancient King Nether Phoenix's bloodline is terrifying. It is called the fighting power of the ultimate sage is not false at all. In this battle, the great wilderness sword was surprisingly calm. Yang Hao encountered crises several times and never moved. The law of hell. At this moment, he also did not use the great desolate sword in his mouth, but had a surging fighting spirit. Yang Hao cast his second method of his own creation. The raging underworld appeared, and the 8 paths that turned into ancient dragons, the avenues collided and intertwined wildly. This method was also perfected by Yang Hao, and its power was even greater than before. Likewise, this method was revealed to everyone for the first time after embarking on the road of invincibility. Underworld hell. After appearing, the crisis was resolved immediately. Although he did not fight back, he withstood the invasion of the 8 pagodas. What method is this? It's so scary, it can actually resist the 8-part pagoda of ancient King Nether Phoenix. This battle is so exciting that it can be called the pinnacle battle of saints. It is only natural that Emperor Zun can take the path of invincibility. The 2 methods he created are amazing. I am extremely powerful. Shocking sounds came one after another. They all thought that the ancient king of Nether Phoenix, who had returned from resurrection and had greatly increased his combat power, could easily overwhelm Yang Hao. But I didn't expect that there was none at all. Yang Hao is so scary. After ancient King Nether Phoenix used the 8-part pagoda, he also used a more terrifying technique one after another to firmly resist the 8-part pagoda of ancient King Nether Phoenix. Even the resurrected ancient King Nether Phoenix still failed to suppress Yang Hao. It's a terrible self-created method. He is really talented and talented. It actually contains the law of destiny. It seems that Emperor Zun should have truly condensed the crystallization of destiny. At this time, the quasi-emperors also spoke one after another. Emperor Hao looked at Yang Hao with gloomy eyes, not knowing what he was thinking. On the other hand, the quasi-emperors of the Holy Land of Eternal Life nodded slightly. When Yang Hao used the reincarnation of destiny method, they had doubts. Now, the underworld hell law appeared, allowing them to confirm that Yang Hao had really condensed the crystal of destiny. Otherwise, Yang Hao would not be able to use the laws of destiny at will to form his own true law. Their shock is obviously self-evident. To live to this point in their lives, they have gone through an unknown amount of time. Their realm has been able to touch the law of destiny, but they have never seen anyone who can condense the crystal of destiny in front of the saint's realm. A son of destiny who is blessed by nature and favored by heaven and earth. If ancient King Ning Huang doesn't bring out the Jidao imperial arms, he may not have any chance of winning. At this time, the Blood Emperor also suddenly spoke. Yes, these quasi-emperors have long been convinced of the Ming Huang Jidao imperial arms. Without the Jidao imperial arms, the opponent would not be able to walk out of the eternal forbidden zone and challenge Yang Hao. If I kill you again, can you still be resurrected? It happened that at this time, Yang Hao's voice came. Snort. Ancient King Ning Huang snorted coldly, and shot out a mysterious divine flower in his hand. Then, in everyone's eyes, a huge shadow appeared in his hand. The ultimate imperial weapon. Just by sensing the shadow in ancient King Nether Phoenix's hand, I can sense the imperial energy coming towards my face. Just as the Blood Emperor said, ancient King Nether Phoenix already possesses the ultimate imperial weapons. Otherwise, how could he dare to provoke Yang Hao? It turns out that the heavenly ruler is in your hands. Yang Hao's eyes flickered when he saw the Jidao imperial soldier appearing in the hands of ancient King Ning Huang. After defeating Xiao Qing'er that day, Tianzun ruler flew away directly. He never thought that it would now appear in the hands of ancient King Ning Huang. 3 people, after I kill them, is there any way to suppress Tianzun Qi so that Tianzun Qi cannot leave? At this time, he suddenly sent a message to the 3 quasi-emperors of the Eternal Holy Land who came to watch the battle. Before he had a battle with the Jidao imperial arms, the opponents who had the Jidao imperial arms all came from the major holy places, and the foundations of the major holy lands were too deep. It is impossible to snatch it. But Tianzun ruler is different. It comes from a foreign race. Yang Hao regretted not snatching it last time. This time he had the idea of snatching it again. Suppress Tianzun ruler. The 3 quasi-emperors were startled when they heard this, and their expressions turned slightly weird. This little guy, before he defeated the opponent, had already begun to make plans for the opponent's Jidao emperor soldiers. Is this confidence or arrogance? Even they, after witnessing this battle till now, I have never really seen who is stronger or weaker between Yang Hao and ancient King Ning Huang. Both sides are constantly turning over their cards at all times, and now they have begun a battle between the Jidao emperor. But Yang Hao has as if they were sure that they could defeat ancient King Nether Phoenix. This made them feel slightly shaken. I'm afraid not. The Jidao emperor's soldiers are all left by the great emperor, and we can't suppress them either. If ancient King Ning Huang is the owner of this Jidao emperor weapon, then maybe he can think of a way. But unfortunately, he is not the master. The 3 quasi-emperors looked at each other and responded to Yang Hao's message. Yang Hao was not surprised when he heard this. It seems that the quasi-emperor's strength is still a little behind after all. Of course, maybe these quasi-emperors are capable. But in the final analysis, even though they both belong to the Holy Land of Eternal Life, the three quasi-emperors are not Zhongwu and have only a relationship with him. Even if he is sure that they can suppress Tianzun Qi, Yang Hao still has to worry about whether they will covet the Ji-Dao Emperor's soldiers. After all, when the time comes, this will be a masterless ultimate emperor weapon, and in the hands of the quasi-emperor, it will be able to fully display its true power. Once possessed, there will be almost no rivals under the quasi-emperor. But when he asked like this, he actually had no expectations at all. He was just a drunkard who didn't care about drinking. Can these three people change the world? All we need to do is move both me and ancient King Nether Phoenix outside the eternal forbidden zone. At this time, Yang Hao's voice came again. Intervening in the battle for the invincible road requires paying a small price, but it's not a big problem. Emperor Huai responded immediately. You need to stay away from the invincible road range. The ancient emperor's voice also came. Good. Yang Hao's eyes were like a god. This was his real purpose. He knew very well from the Golden Crow Master that if these aliens fell within the eternal forbidden zone, they would not really die, but would be resurrected and come out again. Looking at that Master, Tianqi will know it when he walks out again. The bloodline of the ancient king of the underworld is very terrifying. Whether it is the 8 phoenix fires or the nirvana characteristics, he cannot tolerate the other party alive. That would be troublesome for a few people. Yang Hao's words fell to the ground, and he showed a sneer at the ancient king of Ninghuang. The great desolate sword appeared in an instant and killed Tianzun Qi, who was attacking the ancient king of Ninghuang. The battle between the Ji-Dao Emperor's soldiers has begun. It's now. The extremely fierce vibration caused the entire eternal forbidden zone to shake crazily. The next moment, the three quasi-emperors who received Yang Hao's prompts immediately took action at the same time with a tacit understanding. What's the situation? What are the three quasi-emperors of the Eternal Holy Land doing? Invincible Road cannot intervene in the fight. Do the three quasi-emperors want to be punished by God? Seeing the three quasi-emperors of the Eternal Holy Land suddenly taking action, many people were stunned and didn't know what was happening. In front of them, the two people who were fighting fiercely disappeared in an instant. Ah! Yang Hao, you deserve to die. No, do not want. However, thousands of miles away, the horrified roar of ancient King Nether Phoenix could be heard. He would never have imagined that he would suddenly appear outside the eternal forbidden area. The opponent knows that he can resurrect from the penalty area again. Why would the other party know? Ancient King Nether Phoenix fell with endless confusion. The heaven and earth shook. At this time, deep in the eternal forbidden zone, O9, the vast and empty cave, a stunning woman who was practicing meditation with her eyes closed suddenly opened her eyes. Oh! Did that little guy from Pluto Phoenix die? It's really rubbish. That's all. The stunning woman closed her eyes again and began to practice. It will take more than 10 years for the Emperor's scars to be completely repaired. This killing point is really magical, it can continuously repair my injuries. Once my scars on the road are restored, humans will no longer be slaves. The stunning woman's thoughts fluctuated slightly, then fell silent again and fell into the process of repairing her injuries. Please download the novel without underlining. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 238. The ancient king of Nether Phoenix has fallen. The fall is unexpected, the fall is without warning. A powerful alien with the blood of the great emperor and the ultimate fighting power of a sage was killed by Yang Hao with lightning speed after his second resurrection. How did he do that? Can the power of the Ji-Dao Emperor's weapon in your hand be fully activated? It shouldn't be. He borrowed the great wilderness sword, so it shouldn't be able to exert its full power. Although the great wilderness sword is demonic and terrifying, it is indeed extremely powerful. The three quasi-emperors of the Holy Land of Eternal Life arrived in an instant, looking at Yang Hao almost instantly killing the ancient king of Nether Phoenix, with expressions of disbelief on their faces. Even if they personally performed changing heaven and earth, they still couldn't imagine how the ancient king of Nether Phoenix was instantly killed by Yang Hao just now when he had a heavenly ruler. What a vicious character! In addition to the three quasi-emperors of the Eternal Holy Land, the only quasi-emperor present, Emperor Hao, also appeared and took a deep look at Yang Hao. The fall of the ancient king Ning Huang was incredibly fast, and it also involved the Ji-Dao Emperor's soldiers. Even they did not instantly sense what had just happened. In their senses, they could only feel the endless powerful aura escaping, as if two extremely powerful imperial weapons were engaged in a battle. But the result was dark. King Huanggu fell instantly. How are you okay? Congratulations to junior brother Emperor Zun. After this battle, there are no obstacles on the road to invincibility. After the three quasi-emperors, it was Zhongwu and Lord Longshan who came. Zhongwu showed concern for the first time. Lord Longshan was still like a good gentleman, congratulating Yang Hao. He didn't seem to care about Yang Hao. How to kill the ancient king of Nether Phoenix. Thank you. Yang Hao thanked Lord Longshan. He had a good impression of this holy son of fluttering light of the previous generation. If he hadn't reminded him before, he would never have been ambushed by ancient King Ning Huang and suffered heavy injuries. Haha, junior brother, just be fine if nothing happens, Lord Longshan said to Yang Hao with a smile. I have troubled you all to protect me, but I have gained some insights from this battle. Yang Hao suddenly said to the three quasi-emperors, as well as Zhongwu and Lord Longshan. After he had just killed ancient King Nether Phoenix, he indeed began to have endless mysterious insights. In addition to the increasing invincibility in his body after the death of ancient Nether Phoenix King, in addition to Taoism, his understanding of the law also began to blossom and make breakthroughs. The law of underworld has reached its extreme. In this way, we are not far from the avenue of evolution. After the end of the invincible road, we have to find a way to get the underworld Dao section. Of course, it would be best if you could achieve enlightenment directly without relying on Huangquan Dao section. Yang Hao took a deep breath, and the laws in his body were transforming. The reason why he was able to instantly kill the ancient king of Pluto Phoenix was very simple. The Great Desolate Sword. After several consecutive battles, he gradually became somewhat familiar with the Great Desolate Sword. Every time he used the Great Desolate Sword, in addition to consuming lifespan, the most important thing is to consume one's own laws. After experiencing the first few battles on the invincible road, Yang Hao gradually figured out some characteristics of the Great Desolate Sword. When the Great Desolate Sword is slashed, the more laws it consumes, the more powerful it is. The power is more terrifying. Just now he asked the three quasi-emperors to change the fate of him and ancient King Nether Phoenix in an instant. He was already ready to activate the true power of the Great Desolate Sword and kill the opponent in one fell swoop. Yang Hao was at the end. The sword that was struck was not only infused with the laws of destiny, but also many laws that had been fed back by the Great Desolate Sword. The result was obvious. It was like a thunderbolt. Ancient King Ning Huang was caught off guard, and the heavenly ruler could not resist the Great Desolate Sword. Killing. He fell on the spot without any suspense. I don't know where the Great Wilderness Sword was brought back by my cheap wife. Its potential seems to be endless. I don't know what kind of dazzling power I can exert when I truly become a quasi-emperor or even a great emperor. This sword, to me, can be regarded as a real way to suppress the situation. Yang Hao withdrew his thoughts. At this moment, the transformation in his body has almost been completed. The changes brought about by the transformation of the law are chain reactions. The law of underworld has reached its extreme. There is also an additional underworld in the prehistoric killing array. The small world is not far away. Yang Hao observed the changes in the prehistoric killing array, and his anger became more and more intense, because the dragon shadows brought about by the appearance of the second set of eye-candle dragon balls became more powerful after the power of new laws continued to flow in. Becoming more real. The invincible Taoist heart and invincible momentum are getting stronger and stronger. Keep walking. After walking the invincible road, I will also undergo a complete transformation. Yang Hao looked at his feet. The invincible road, which originally ended in the eternal forbidden zone, once again started in front of him and extended to an unknown place. He once again set foot on the invincible road and began to challenge enemies one after another. What follows? But it was just as many people expected. The ancient king of Ninghuang was suppressed by Yang Hao's iron blood. Whether it was the geniuses hiding in other holy places or the old monsters of the previous era, they all fell under Yang Hao's sword. During this period, Yang Hao he walked into dangerous places in other regions and suppressed 2 ancient foreign kings. His power was at its peak. 10 consecutive victories. 18 consecutive victories. 24 consecutive victories. Yang Hao entered the country from the western desert, passed through Zhongzhou and the South China Sea, and finally returned to the eastern region. Along the way, they suppressed and killed 28 powerful beings. The realms of these powerful men may be high or low, but each one of them has reached the realm of a true sage. Emperor Zun is too scary. He really said it as if he had opened the road to invincibility, pushing through a generation and crushing all enemies in the world. Now he is unstoppable, and he is almost unable to find an opponent on the invincible road. I estimate that Emperor Zun, armed with the Supreme Emperor's weapons, can already fight against the Quasi-Emperor, and he has not yet become a saint. His future is too scary. It is very likely that he will come from behind and embark on the road to enlightenment, competing with the Quasi-Emperors who have been dormant since the Dark Ages for the place of enlightenment. It's hard to say, the invincible road is ominous. I heard that once the invincible road ends, you will be on the gods list and be hunted down by geniuses from all eras on the emperor's list. Become famous in one battle. Over the past few days, countless practitioners have been paying attention to Yang Hao's terrifying achievements as he embarked on the road to invincibility. Everyone already understands that Yang Hao will probably approach the road of invincibility, become a true invincible genius, and ascend to the legendary emperor list. This is almost without any suspense. On Zaiwei Star, there is no strong person who can fight with Yang Hao. Fine. There was no fight with my aunt. I haven't become a saint yet, and my aunt is still my protector. It's because we are connected by fate. Yang Hao was now following the invincible road, traveling all over the Zaiwei Star, and finally returned to the starting point. His 30th opponent on the invincible road was unexpectedly an ancient sage from the holy land of eternal life. Even if they come from the same origin, these two the First World War still ended with the fall of this ancient sage. Why did the Dark Ages talk about the invincible road? It was ominous. Because the invincible road is so cruel, even in the same holy land, fierce fighting may occur. Fortunately, Yang Hao was relieved. What he said was that he did not encounter Zhongwu in the last battle. Zhongwu's strength was just within the range of his invincible opponents. Such good luck could only be attributed to Yang Hao because he was connected with Zhongwu by luck and was the protector. The Taoist is related. Walk the invincible road back to the original place. It should have ended. It's just that my invincible aura has been achieved, but my invincible Taoist heart has not yet been developed. Why is this? Could it be that my road to invincibility is not over yet? Yang Hao frowned at this moment. Everyone thought that his road to invincibility had returned to the end. But his family knew about his family affairs, and only he knew that his invincible Taoist heart had not yet completely condensed. Although it was crystal clear and exuded endless vast aura, but it is indeed not developed. How is this going? Yang Hao's eyes flashed, and he was confused. The next moment, something shocked him happened. The invincible road under his feet, shining with golden light, suddenly went up to the sky. At the same time, on the sky, there were clouds one after another. Push aside. The avenue of stars is revealed. The invincible road winds up and connects directly to the end of the sky. Tens of thousands of stars shine on the invincible road. What's the situation? Shouldn't the invincible road be over? Why does the invincible road lead to the sky? What is this going to do? Never seen before. One after another, they looked at the invincible road connecting Tiank, and they couldn't understand it. There has never been anything like this in history. Certainly. The Great Dao Galaxy did not appear until the Great Age, and no one knew what characteristics the Great Dao Galaxy had. All in all, this scene has never happened before in history, and countless people are puzzled. Next. All practitioners in the entire Zhiwei star can easily see this invincible road that connects the great avenues and galaxies above the nine heavens. A figure slowly walks up, attracting the attention of the whole world. He gradually walked towards the avenue galaxy. The further they walked, the more powerful and terrifying the momentum became. Correspondingly, the third avenue main star on the avenue galaxy is shining like a bright sun at this moment. I see. Yang Hao's eyes became more and more dazzling. As he was about to enter the galaxy, he suddenly understood everything. The road to invincibility is still not over yet. Today, I take the path of invincibility, suppress my contemporaries, and overthrow all enemies in the world. Anyone who is qualified can come and fight me. The words fell to the ground. The Dao Galaxy was boiling. I took away the villain's son. Author, the Great Onmyoji. Chapter 239. Yang Hao's voice echoed out, and the galaxy of the avenue boiled instantly. In the galaxy, the densely gathered stars began to gradually disperse in all directions. The area leading to the invincible road has turned into a pure dojo. This is arena. How could such a situation arise? The avenue of stars connects all the stars in the sky. Could it be that we can attract strong men from other big stars? Even if other big star powerhouses are attracted, the big stars are connected by ancient roads in the starry sky and are extremely far away. By the time they arrive, decades have already passed. The big star Zhiwei, his endless gaze is now focused on the empty galaxy above the nine heavens. Many extreme experts can sense the place at the end of the invincible road. It seems empty, but in fact it has become a star arena. There is no need to cross the stars, as long as those who possess the Tiangang Earth evil stars can project themselves onto that star arena with the induction of their thoughts. This is indeed the case, but if the projection body is defeated, although it will not fall, its luck will be completely plundered, and the stars will completely fall from the avenue and galaxy. Although it is stronger than the life and death fight on Invincible Road, it is still extremely dangerous. It cannot be said that if you can defeat Emperor Zun, you can directly replace him and become the main star of the Dao. Moreover, it is very likely that the invincible momentum and Dao heart he gathered before will be completely deprived of him. The winner will become the first genius of Zhiwei Star. The powerful Ji Dao who possessed the Tiangang Earth Evil Star in the Great Dao Galaxy sensed all the changes in the Great Dao Galaxy. They blurted out subconsciously, making many people understand the changes that occurred after the Invincible Road connected the Dao Galaxy. How Zhongwu looked up at the tall figure standing on the Invincible Road, her eyebrows slightly darkened. Naturally, she also understood the rules. With just a thought, she could project her avatar to fight Yang Hao. Because of this, Zhongwu knew very well that Yang Hao was about to face him. What kind of enemy? Dao Xing, there are all the arrogant Dao stars of all the stars in the sky. What Yang Hao just said, naturally spread out. I am afraid that his voice resounded throughout the stars in the sky in an instant. If this is the case, the enemies he will face will be the supreme geniuses of all the big stars. Such an opponent is too terrifying. Zhongwu naturally has confidence in Yang Hao. But once something goes wrong, everyone will be in catastrophe. What she saw was that when Yang Hao was shining brightly, she was the only one worrying about him. Pity. I haven't triggered the stars of the avenue yet, so I can only miss this battle. Not far away, Lord Longshan looked up at Yang Hao in the sky with some regrets. Although he has a gentle personality, he is also a genius with amazing talents. Naturally, he is also competitive. Unfortunately, this on the invincible road, you need to have the Dao star in the Dao galaxy to be qualified to challenge Yang Hao at this time. This is not surprising. Yang Hao has traveled all over Zaiwei Star and won 30 games in a row on the invincible road. If he doesn't even have the Dao star, he will not be able to challenge him at all. He is not qualified to fight Yang Hao. Lord Longshan is naturally qualified to activate the Great Dao Galaxy and raise his own Great Dao star in the Great Dao Galaxy. But the Great Dao Galaxy needs to be activated before the Dao star can rise. Now he wants to activate the Dao star, can only break through the realm. But breaking through the realm is contrary to the idea of Lord Longshan to take the path of invincibility. Even if he can become a saint with just a thought now. But since a genius like Lord Longshan wants to take the path of invincibility, of course, he chose to walk before becoming a saint and condensing the ultimate invincible Taoist heart. Therefore, he was extremely regretful at this moment. Not only Lord Longshan, but also a figure in the Holy Land of Creation, which was quite far away from the Holy Land of Eternal Life, also had eyes flashing. He had Dao Tiangang star, but he didn't dare to challenge Lin Feng. Although his body self-destruct, this clone came out of the secret realm and became the only Lin Feng. Looking at Yang Hao, who was blooming with endless light above the 9 heavens, Lin Feng, who also suppressed his realm and wanted to take the road of invincibility, finally received a stream of memories. Damn it, the death of my body is indeed related to him. It has only been a few years, how can this person be so strong? No, I have to think of a way, otherwise I will never have Zhongwu's heart. Thoughts arose in Lin Feng's mind. His face was slightly distorted, and he said to Wenwan who was standing beside him, Yahua Saint, come with me to a place where you can make up for your ruined path. Take you to the next level. We can't let him grow any longer. We must strengthen ourselves and set up a fatal situation to let him die. He said to Wenwan. After walking out of the secret realm, he already knew the ins and outs of what happened in Wandao Pavilion. Naturally, he also knew that Yahua Sage was severely injured in order to help him avenge him. Lin Feng has regarded Yahua Sage as his true one, and wants to give her a chance. Good. When we get the chance, we will plot him to death. Wenwan's face is old now, and she looks very weak and her vitality is severely damaged. These days, she has shown this face to others in the Holy Land of Creation. Looking up at Yang Hao, various comments continued to resound throughout the Zaiwei Star. But no one among the stars of the avenue came out to challenge Yang Hao. Some are like Lord Longshan, and some are like Lin Feng. Either dormant or feeling inferior. There are all kinds of thoughts on my mind. In short, no one challenged. After all, Yang Hao's invincible victory over 30 sages, including some with extreme combat power, has frightened many people. Today, Yang Hao can only be suppressed by the Quasi-Emperor. However, all the Quasi-Emperors of Zaiwei Star are dormant, and none of them can stir up the Dao Galaxy. They are not even qualified to challenge Yang Hao. Could it be that this is the end? It is really terrifying, no one dares to challenge Emperor Zun. There are thousands of stars in the sky, and none of the other big stars will emerge from the battle. Yang Hao's voice echoed, and more than 10 minutes had passed. No one walks out of Zaiwei Big Star. There are no waves coming from other big stars. Just when everyone thought that the unprecedented invincible road would come to an end, little ripples finally began to bloom in the galaxy of the road. Yang Hao stood opposite the star arena, and a starlight was projected out. This starlight comes from the Dao Tiangang star in the Dao galaxy. What a big tone, you dare to invite all the stars in the sky to fight. I, Emperor Kilian, are here to plunder your luck. Above the star arena, a phantom appeared, and a terrifying aura erupted from his body. A Dao Tiangang star with emperor-level strength arrived. The moment he appeared, thousands of stars in the sky also saw Yang Hao and Kilian at the same time. The figure of the emperor. King. That's interesting. I might not be able to withstand Emperor Zun's move. This is normal, after all, Emperor Zun is also an emperor. This emperor is no better than the emperor. All the cultivators in Zaiwei Star burst into laughter when they saw the appearance of Emperor Kilian, including some powerful men from the Holy Land who were not dealing with Yang Hao. Only the strong men of Zaiwei Star know how terrifying the opponents Yang Hao has fought these days. For Yang Hao, who often suppresses sages, the emperor, is nothing more than an ant. He. When Yang Hao saw Emperor Qi Lian, he also chuckled. He said calmly, again, practice is not easy. Wholly under the fighting strength, there is no need to come and die. Emperor Kilian, who was projected by the stars, was stunned when he heard the words, and immediately became furious. As a peerless genius of a big star, he was born prominent since childhood, and he pushed all the way, trampling on countless geniuses. Although he was only an emperor. However, if he wanted to, he could break through the realm of saint at any time. But he didn't expect that the emperor in front of him, who attracted thousands of stars in the sky, would be so arrogant. Sage. Do you know what it means to be a sage? If you really want to sit in a well and look at the sky, let me teach you how to behave. Qi Lianhuang thought that Yang Hao was humiliating him, and instantly burst out with a powerful aura. His whole body was covered with gold, and he evolved endless mysterious legal principles. The ultimate heaven-shattering fist. Qi Lianhuang blasted out with one punch. He is worthy of being ranked among the Tiangang stars of the Great Dao. The momentum is earth-shaking, and this blow has reached the level of a saint. Unfortunately, his opponent has exceeded his imagination. Facing Qi Lianhuang is earth-shattering. With a punch, Yang Hao just raised his eyelids, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Invincible momentum, overwhelming. Suddenly, Emperor Qi Lian stopped the void with a punch, as if time had stopped. He looked shocked. Kneel down. Yang Hao said calmly. The next moment, Qi Lianhuang, the peerless genius, was instantly suppressed to the ground by Yang Hao's invincible momentum, unable to move. His punch was suppressed by Yang Hao's momentum, and he was forcibly suppressed. Interrupt. With just his momentum, he suppressed Emperor Qi Lian to his knees. This scene was instantly reflected in the eyes of thousands of stars in the sky and the eyes of all the geniuses. No. Huang Qi Lian naturally knew that he was being watched by thousands of stars in the sky at this moment. He knelt down in front of Yang Hao like a dog. His pride in his life was trampled to pieces by Yang Hao. On the star arena, Qi Emperor Lian's figure is slowly dissipating and collapsing. Emperor Qi Lian, this peerless genius, is in a broken state of mind. He doesn't even need Yang Hao to take action, he has been completely destroyed. In the Dao galaxy, the Dao Tiangang star, which represents Emperor Qi Lian, suddenly fell. A peerless genius who was bound to become a quasi-emperor and had a glimmer of hope for enlightenment was so easily terminated by Yang Hao. A series of luck fell on Yang Hao. Zhou Tianwan, who was paying attention to this battle, the star cultivators also suddenly fell silent. Please download the novel without underlining. I took away the villain's son. Author, the Great Onmyoji. Chapter 240. There are thousands of stars in the sky, the Kaiming star. Silence filled the entire Kaiming star at this time. The name of Emperor Kilian is at the forefront of Kaiming star, and he is one of the most outstanding geniuses in recent years. With the advent of the Great Age, all the stars in the sky have ushered in a prosperous age. Emperor Kilian has suppressed many arrogant geniuses and became the preparatory sect leader of a large force. When the sky reflected the avenues of stars and the invincible road was revealed, Yang Hao invited the world to fight, and Emperor Kilian followed suit. Many practitioners of Kaiming Star believe that Emperor Kilian will suppress Yang Hao, which is eye-catching in the world and is looked up to and worshipped by countless people. But what did they see? Emperor Kilian kneeling on the ground. Even the opponent's true strength was not forced out. He was suppressed by the opponent's momentum and fell to his knees on the spot. Shame. Shame on the entire Kaiming Star. Some people were angry, and some geniuses stepped out and headed towards the invincible road of the great avenues and galaxies in the sky, hoping to regain face for Kaiming Star. Stars incarnate one after another, and saints are coming. Pity. Again the battle was over quickly. The ending was no different. The saint of Kaiming Star was also defeated. It's so easy to destroy everything. At this time, everyone finally understood. Why would this prodigy who has embarked on the road to invincibility and challenged all the stars in the sky be so arrogant? He said that cultivation is not easy, and you need to cultivate to the level of a sage before you can challenge him. It turns out the other person was telling the truth. If you are not a saint enough, you will end up with your luck being robbed and becoming a stepping stone on the opponent's path to invincibility. In this world, there are too many terrifying geniuses. Is this the main star of Avenue? My Kaiming Star's first genius was also defeated. He has won 7 games in a row. It's so fast. How long has it been? He was having an epiphany. The avatar cannot be projected at the moment. The Kaiming Star powerhouses who were paying attention to Yang Hao suddenly found that they could no longer project their avatars into the star arena in the galaxy. After 7 battles, all the stars in the sky, including Kaiming Star, have fully realized Yang Hao's power. And now, Yang Hao began to have an epiphany. Already so defiant, yet still having an epiphany. If this continues, can anyone really defeat him? It's hard to say. Although he is a monster, there are too many monsters in the sky. If there are no accidents, the other 2 of the 3 main stars must have higher qualifications than him. Having said that, who knows whether the other 2 main stars will come out? That only means potential, but it does not mean that the strength of these 2 main stars has reached the realm of saints. Discussions continued. At this moment, on the Dao Galaxy, Yang Hao has fallen into a state of enlightenment. No one knew what a wonderful state he was in at this moment. The ultimate invincible Taoist heart that had already been formed in his body finally almost took shape after defeating 7 other strong men from the big stars. It turns out that this is the invincible Taoist heart. What I have condensed now should be the ultimate invincible Taoist heart, right? My understanding of the law is far better than before, at least 100 times greater. Not only that, my system can also turn on automatic insights, borrow the ultimate invincible Taoist heart, and absorb insights crazily. My understanding of the law is leaping like crazy. If my prediction is correct, with the supreme immortal bone, I can directly break through the shackles of the great Dao and evolve the laws of the great Dao. The law of underworld should soon turn into the avenue of underworld. Yang Hao is constantly sublimating at this moment. The Taoist heart in his body has turned into a brilliant divine light. The rays of brilliant divine light seem to be connected to the laws in the void. If the original Taoist heart is just pure link 1, now Yang Hao's Dao heart has exceeded 100 breath link law barriers. This is why he said that his knowledge of the law has improved 100 times. This is the ultimate invincible Dao heart, and the soul of the eternal emperor did not lie to him. He can sense that all the laws in his body are advancing by leaps and bounds. If this continues, he will soon be able to evolve the laws of hell that have reached their extreme and become the avenue of hell. Strangeness. Now that my ultimate invincible Taoist heart has been condensed, and my invincible aura has been completely formed. Why have I not ended my path to invincibility? I also want to see the Emperor ranking. Yang Hao gradually woke up from his epiphany, sensed the changes in his body, and glanced at the star arena that still existed. His eyes gradually changed. He fell into deep thought. The invincible road, since connecting to the Dao galaxy, has been different from what he knew. Completely different. Who dares to fight? After pondering for a moment, Yang Hao spoke again and continued. Since the invincible road is not over yet, he will continue to fight. He wants to see how long the invincible road can reach. What kind of situation can he reach? The situation. After the words fell, another figure gradually projected from the stars of the Dao galaxy. As he gradually became stronger, it ignited the warlike hearts of many real geniuses. As long as Yang Hao can be defeated, not only can he attract world attention, it can also harvest all the luck that Yang Hao has accumulated. For the talented geniuses, this is an extremely tempting thing. Fellow Taoist is very powerful. However, that's about it. I am from the Swan star, Zuj Liu Yun, please give me some advice. This new peerless genius suddenly spoke and said to Yang Hao. The aura that washed over him was only the aura of a saint. It seemed that he was just like the strong man that Yang Hao defeated before, and would become a stepping stone on Yang Hao's invincible road. Not good. Master, be careful, don't be careless. How could it be him? The Zuj family, the strongest family in Swan star. He is Zuj Liu Yun. He was invincible in the saint realm 100,000 years ago. He didn't expect that he is still in the saint realm now. Logically speaking, he should be very old. Why is he still full of vitality and blood, as if he is living in the prime of life? This is an extremely powerful being, and it is not an exaggeration to call him the supreme genius. But at this time, Yun Yin's anxious voice came to Yang Hao's ears. When Yang Hao heard the words, he did not panic, but looked at Zuj Liu Yun in front of him with interest. 100,000 years ago, in the saint realm invincible. Now, he is still in the saint realm, and has never aged at all. It is very interesting. He has now understood what the supreme genius is. The so-called supreme genius is just like the literal meaning. It is the supreme among geniuses. But who can guarantee himself? Can he overwhelm many geniuses and become other supreme geniuses? Even he, until now, has been qualified to be called the supreme genius. But now, in front of him, there is a real supreme genius. Yang Hao suddenly the desire to fight suddenly arises, and Zuj Liu Yun's arrival is worthy of being invincible. There is no point in bullying the weak. Only by truly defeating the strong one who is evenly matched can he be called invincible. Please. Yang Hao spoke. The next moment, he showed no mercy at all. The law of reincarnation of destiny. Yang Hao did not hesitate to use his own first method. This was also the first time he used his own method after connecting to the Dao galaxy. His previous opponents were all too weak and unworthy. The law of destiny? Interesting. Do you control the laws of destiny? Zuj Liu Yun sensed that the law of destiny and reincarnation was being swept away, being swallowed up in all directions. He was in danger, but Zuj Liu Yun did not panic at all, but showed an excited expression. Seeing this scene, Yang Hao's eyes flashed sharply. He knew that the horror of the reincarnation of destiny method could not affect the other party, otherwise the other party would not be so casual. However, Yang Hao did not hold back, and he launched a prehistoric killing array in the next moment. Zhu Xian. The prehistoric killing formation evolved and went directly towards Zuj Liu Yun. With his current combat power, even a sage would be afraid of doing something like this. But Zuj Liu Yun still didn't react at all. On the contrary, he gradually closed his eyes, as if he was intoxicated. When the law of reincarnation of destiny finally completely enveloped Yang Hao, Zhuge Liuyun suddenly opened his eyes, revealing endless mystery in his eyes, and a deep blue and gray-black aura of destiny burst out. Boom! The star arena in the void exploded instantly. The law of reincarnation. Yang Hao frowned. He had deduced many ways that the other party might take over from him. But he never thought that the other party would evolve the reincarnation method like him. How is it possible? This was Yang Hao's first reaction. However, the next moment something even more terrifying happened. The Xuxian killing formation transformed into the prehistoric killing formation came to kill, and a killing formation also evolved in Zhuge Liuyun's body. The prehistoric killing formation versus the prehistoric killing formation. The star arena shook again. The world was almost destroyed, and then restored again. Exactly the same method. It's the great formless technique. Oh my god, no wonder Zhuge Liuyun is still in the saint realm. It turns out that he was trying to learn this god-level technique, and he actually learned it. Master, don't use your magic anymore, he will learn it all. At this moment, Yunyin's exclamation came again. She recognized Zhuge Liuyun's method. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I took away the villain's son. Author, the great Onmyoji. Chapter 241. The Great Formless Technique. Yang Hao frowned when he heard this. He had never heard of such a skill. However, the mention of god-level skills in Yunyin's words made his heart move. His Juya prison suppression technique is a demigod super-level exercises have been of great help to his body training over the years. From his weak childhood to now, they are still extremely useful. This is only a semi-god level exercise. Since the Great Phaseless Technique is a god level exercise, definitely extraordinary. Good. Zhiwei Daxing is very special. It is a spiritual practice system, so its dependence on the skills in the later stage is not too strong. But each big star's practice has its own characteristics. Although the practitioners of Xuanyun Star are also proficient in formations, the practitioners of Xuanyun Star are even more proficient in techniques. In fact, most of the big stars are proficient in Kung Fu, and the formation of spiritual power is a very special system of practice among the stars in the sky. God-level skills are the ceiling among skills, they are extremely powerful. The Great No-Phase technique is Xuanyun Daxing's extremely famous god-level technique. It's just that if you want to cultivate it, it's extremely difficult, and you even need to pay a lot of money. With Zhuge Liuyun's talent and strength, he should have been able to become a quasi-emperor long ago, but the reason why he has remained in the saint realm for so many years must be to practice the Great Formless Technique. The Great Phaseless Technique can instantly understand all the opponent's methods, and it has evolved to be even more terrifying than the power of the original method. Hearing Yunyin's explanation, Yang Hao nodded slowly. That's it? He finally understood why Zhuge Liuyun was able to evolve the prehistoric killing formation and also display his own creation. There is such a magical skill, can even the law of fate be evolved? Yang Hao's eyes were like daggers. At this moment, Zhuge Liuyun's smiling figure appeared in front of him again. Fellow Taoist's attack is quite wonderful, but are there other methods? Just use it as much as you can. I am very excited. Zhuge Liuyun, who was smiling, said again. Obviously, he was bullying Yang Hao because he didn't know the Great Phaseless Technique he practiced. He wanted to continue to copy Yang Hao's method and extract what he wanted from it. When Yang Hao heard this, he also laughed. Since fellow Taoists want to learn from it, then let fellow Taoists learn from it. Yang Hao chuckled, and then evolved again. His method contained only other principles. He did not believe that the law of destiny that he had worked so hard to obtain could be so easily obtained by the so-called Great No-Phase technique. Think about it. If you want to use his method, you must pay a price. The law of hell. The aura of the underworld, carrying endless destiny, turned into hell and enveloped Zhuge Liuyun. Interesting. When Zhuge Liuyun saw this scene, his eyes shone and he kept making gestures with his hands. When the underworld hell method was about to wrap around him, he said calmly, "The underworld hell method." As soon as the words fell, the same terrifying self-created method as Yang Hao appeared. The previous scene repeated itself again, roaring continuously, completely exploding the entire star arena. "Master, that's not possible. If this continues, Zhuge Liuyun will lead him away. Use the Jidao Emperor weapon. The power of the Jidao Emperor weapon is too powerful and cannot be copied by Zhuge Liuyun." Yunyan reminded. Yang Hao chuckled and said, "It doesn't matter. I'm very curious about the great formless technique. Let's try fighting him." He is not arrogant, but really curious. If the great desolate sword is sacrificed at this moment, the opponent will have no chance of winning unless he can use the Jidao Emperor weapon that is more powerful than the great desolate sword. But unless the great desolate sword loses control at this moment, otherwise Yang Hao really wants to fight Zhuge Liuyun again. Destiny and reincarnation. Hell method. Yang Hao faced Zhuge Liuyun and went crazy with his own method. He no longer fought Zhuge Liuyun in close combat, nor did he use the ancient killing array. Instead, he kept using his own methods. "You are interesting." When Zhuge Liuyun saw this scene, he chuckled and said, "The law of destiny is very rare. Do you want to use the law of destiny to exhaust all my resources? Pity. You can't imagine how long I have lived and how many legends I have witnessed. Take out your Jidao Emperor weapon, otherwise you will only be defeated in this battle." Zhuge Liuyun seemed to have seen through Yang Hao's plan and shook Yang Hao with his words. However, Yang Hao didn't care. It would be best to use the law of fate to exhaust the opponent's unknown foundation. In addition, he wanted to see himself even more. There are also those things that need to be improved and made up for. There is nothing easier to understand than facing one's own dharma. Unfortunately, there was no chance in the past. It was not easy to encounter a repeater machine like Zhuge Liuyun. It was too late for him to be happy, so how could he be willing to defeat him? Zhuge Liuyun seemed to have other thoughts. From the beginning, the two sides went back and forth like this, constantly using Yang Hao's two self-created methods. This battle lasted for half a day. Time. The power of Yang Hao's two self-created spells were earth-shattering. The entire sky, earth, and stars were beaten into darkness, and the sky collapsed and the earth cracked countless times. If this continues, I'm afraid Emperor Zun will lose. Obviously, Emperor Zun's background is not as deep as the other parties, but the other party is still able to handle it with ease. Emperor Zun seems to have shown signs of fatigue. Indeed, this Zhuge Liuyun is simply a freak. He clearly doesn't know the laws controlled by Emperor Zun, but he can directly copy Emperor Zun's self-created methods. The extremely powerful people in Zhiwei Star did not find it funny when they saw the scene of you going back and forth and constantly performing Yang Hao's own tricks. Instead, they all observed it seriously. Because these two self-created methods are too profound and reflect Yang Hao's ultimate understanding. If they can understand even a little bit, they will all benefit greatly. Okay, I have completely understood your method. Thank you, game over. At this moment, Zhuge Liuyun suddenly smiled and said to Yang Hao. Before Yang Hao could respond, Zhuge Liuyun's aura suddenly exploded. A whole 9 avenues fell around him. 9 of them are special avenues. Zhuge Liuyun's background is really terrifying. In the realm of a saint, he actually controls 9 special avenues. No wonder Yunyan said that Zhuge Liuyun can become a quasi-emperor with his background. Watch everything. Zhuge Liuyun spoke calmly. The next moment, the heaven and earth shook. The reincarnation of destiny method and the underworld method evolved crazily. At the same time, more than 60 terrifying methods, After Yang Hao's two self-created methods, crazy evolution, unified to kill Yang Hao, appeared, Zuch sect leader was observing everything. Master Zuch masters the great formless technique and can copy and restore all opponents' spells. Not only that, Zuch sect leader also created another weird secret method based on the great formless technique to observe all phenomena. All the Dharma copied by him using the great formless technique will be stored in his Tao heart. Once the time is right, Master Zuch will start to observe all things, and the Dharma he has stored for endless years will descend from the heart of the Tao and kill his opponents. This emperor is so stupid, he dares to delay time with the Zuch sect leader. The longer the battle goes on, the more Dharma Master Zuch uses to observe the appearance of all phenomena. The main reason is that he doesn't understand Zuch sect leader. Zuch sect leader is also worried that something will happen. Otherwise, if the battle continues for 10 days and a half, the Dharma that will appear in all phenomena will probably exceed 100 ways. At this time, on the Swan star, many powerful people from the extreme realm were shocked when they saw Zuch Liuyun using his technique to observe all phenomena. They all know very well how terrifying Zuch Liuyun's observation of everything is. Now that the Dharma was spoken, the surging Dharma sea completely annihilated Yang Hao. At the moment when all phenomena appeared, the heaven and earth shook. The entire Dao galaxy seemed to be completely destroyed by Zuch Liuyun's observation. Certainly. The great Dao galaxy is a vision of heaven and earth. The moment it collapses, it will naturally recover instantly. But the stars all over the sky appeared and disappeared, as if reincarnation was repeated endless times. Emperor Zun was defeated. It's really surprising, but it makes sense. There are too many monsters in the sky and stars. It's true. The Emperor's realm is so terrifying, let alone the geniuses of other great star saints. Ziwei Big Star, a series of regretful voices sounded. They didn't expect that the situation would take a turn for the worse, and even Zuch Liuyun didn't give Yang Hao a chance to use the Ji-Dao Emperor's weapons. However, it should be okay. He never did anything he wasn't sure of. Only Zhongwu looked at the arena of stars that was annihilated by the sea of Fafa condensed by observing all phenomena, with firm eyes. She believed that Yang Hao, since he had walked the path of invincibility, would not be defeated. Fate, reincarnation. Underworld, hell. I see. I see. Thank you very much. At this moment, on the star arena, bathed in Wanfa, Yang Hao's voice suddenly came out calmly. Then. How can it be? Zuch Liuyun was shocked. But in the next moment, the method of observing all phenomena was completely reversed. The ultimate in reincarnation is to reverse everything. Yang Hao's words fell to the ground. The Sea of Fa, which was observing the surging of all things, actually moved in the opposite direction, surging towards Zuch Liuyun. Please download the novel without underlining. I took away the villain's son. Author, the Great Onmyoji. Chapter 242. Yang Hao couldn't help but shake his head when he saw Zuch Liuyun being annihilated by all means and his body turning into nothingness. He won this battle. Neither side gave the other side a chance to use the Ji-Dao Emperor's weapons. There is no need to think too much. With Zuch Liuyun's background, he must have the means to deal with the Ji-Dao Emperor's soldiers. Pity. The winner is the king and the loser is the bandit. Zuch Liuyun would never have thought that it was not him who defeated him, but himself. Zuch Liuyun relied too much on the great formless technique, and even created magical techniques such as observing all phenomena. Even Yang Hao just almost fell under this technique. But precisely because of this, Yang Hao realized the true meaning of reincarnation and realized the law of reincarnation to the extreme between life and death. At the same time, he also perfected his own methods of reincarnation and hell. In just a moment, Yang Hao changed his fate and reversed everything with the ultimate law of reincarnation. The laws of destiny are too mysterious. Under its influence, Yang Hao stirred up the divine eye of destiny and saw all the threads of destiny in all phenomena. The law of reincarnation of destiny reversed everything, allowing Zhuge Liuyun to be completely swallowed up by his own magic. Zhuge Liuyun was instantly killed by Yang Hao, making the world silent again. No one expected that the battle would be so sudden. Although Zhuge Liuyun is a saint, his combat power is already at the peak of a saint, and he can control 9 avenues. The result was still failure. The last scene of this game was even different from the previous ones. Many people did not see how Zhuge Liuyun was defeated. Is this the world of the supreme genius? Victory or defeat can change in just a moment. Zhuge Liuyun's Dao Tiangang star was annihilated, and another supreme genius became the stepping stone for Emperor Zun. Sure enough, defeating Zhuge Liuyun and plundering his luck brought astonishing benefits to Emperor Zun, who once again fell into enlightenment. Even Zhuge Liuyun has been defeated, and I don't know who else dares to step out. There was a buzz of discussion. Zhuge Liuyun also became Yang Hao's stepping stone. He was the first supreme genius to fall at Yang Hao's feet, but he would never be the last. After Zhuge Liuyun died, his Dao Tiangang star fell on him. Yang Hao once again fell into enlightenment. A series of insights followed. The ultimate invincible Taoist heart condensed in his body exceeded 100 in an instant, and nearly 150 auras were already connected to the law barrier, and the number was still increasing. This has completely surpassed the concept of the ultimate invincible Taoist heart 100 times. Not only that, Yang Hao could feel the supreme immortal bone in his body beginning to vibrate at this moment. What Yang Hao didn't expect was that not only did he reach the ultimate level of the law of reincarnation, but he also touched the shackles of the law of underworld at the extreme level. I don't know if my previous guess is correct. If my guess is correct, then my underworld principle will encounter the shackles and turn into a great avenue, and I should not encounter any difficulties. With the increase in the link of the ultimate invincible Taoist heart, the system has already begun to consume points crazily and automatically realizes it. At this time, Yang Hao, who has reached the extreme of the underworld law, finally touched the barrier. At the moment, Yang Hao was guessing whether he would encounter the barrier. At that time, the vibration frequency of the supreme immortal bone increased. In the blink of an eye, the world shook. A road of underworld suddenly appeared, surging towards Yang Hao on the avenue of stars and stars. Yang Hao, who was in the Emperor realm, once again evolved a second road. Dao. This Dao of underworld is even more terrifying than the Dao of law that he evolved before. Of course, it is also more difficult to evolve. Many practitioners, even those who specialize in the Dao of underworld, are unable to evolve the Dao of underworld throughout their lives. But Yang Hao, however, easily evolved this Huan Quan Avenue. This was all due to the supreme immortal bone in his body. If there are no accidents, according to the changes in my current extremely invincible Taoist heart, and I can defeat a few more challengers, I should be able to evolve several other avenues before becoming a saint. Somehow, I once again received the revelation of my destiny. It seems that if I can evolve more avenues before becoming a saint, the more benefits I will get after becoming a saint. Yang Hao's heart moved slightly, with some expectation. At this time, the star arena was not open. His aura of evolving into the underworld avenue had not yet fully come. Rumble. Outside the Dao galaxy, there was a familiar roar again. It was sensed that before Yang Hao became a saint, Dao and heavenly punishment appeared again. It is a pity. As heavenly punishment appeared again, the supreme immortal bone in Yang Hao's body once again it started to shake. Then, under the watchful eyes of thousands of stars in the sky, a ridiculous scene happened. The divine punishment that had just appeared had completely dissipated before it could reach Yang Hao. This is probably the child of destiny. It's really incredible that someone can evolve into the great Dao in the Emperor's realm. Does anyone really dare to challenge such a supreme genius? The practitioners of other big stars were deeply shocked. So that's it? This was the reason why Emperor Zun caused heavenly punishment before. This is already the second avenue, and it seems that Emperor Zun will continue to evolve the avenue before becoming a saint. It's terrible. Being born in the same era as him is both sad and glorious. Sci-fi star, many powerful people in the Holy Land of Eternal Life saw this scene, and finally understood why Yang Hao attracted heavenly punishment. It turns out that at that time, Yang Hao had already developed a great path. They sighed with emotion and smiled bitterly. This is really scary. It is no exaggeration to say that it is unprecedented and unprecedented. Is there anyone left to fight with me? At this time, Yang Hao's voice came again. As he evolved into the underworld avenue and his combat power increased, the invincible road under his feet was still unfinished. He once again invited Zhou Ti and Wang Xing to fight, waiting for another powerful opponent to appear. However, as Yang Hao's words fell to the ground this time, there was no sound. As Yang Hao defeated the strong one after another, he finally let all the beings in the sky know that Yang Hao's initial arrogance was not arrogance, but true power. He can indeed suppress the geniuses of his generation and suppress all enemies in the world. I wonder who would dare to step out. It takes courage to step out at this time. That's right, if you're not careful, you will lose all your life savings and bid farewell to this era. A series of discussions rang out. But in the end, there are still star projections coming. Human race, you are very powerful, but I will kill you. Another genius walked out. But this genius is not a human race, but a strange race with many hairs on his body. This is a foreigner, but he is not as proud as the Sci-fi star alien race, but rather said solemnly. Without further ado, Yang Hao took action directly, evolving the Five Elements Avenue and the Huanquan Avenue, intertwining and falling. He was testing the power of the avenues. He never thought that a magical mirror would appear directly in the hands of this alien race. The ultimate imperial weapon. No wonder the opponent dares to come up. This extremely powerful enemy is very powerful. This extremely powerful imperial weapon is the mirror of the sky. The foreign race in the sky holding the Jideo Imperial armament coldly mobilized the Jideo Emperor armament. In an instant, Yang Hao's surging avenue was completely annihilated by the mirror light. The other party wants to rob Yang Hao of everything with his powerful imperial weapon. Pity. At this time, the piece of grass at the corner of Yang Hao's mouth suddenly trembled like a shark smelling the fishy smell. Just right. Yang Hao sensed the trembling of the grass, and was not surprised. Instead, he poured all the power of the underworld into the great desolate sword. Since the other party launched a battle of Jideo Emperor soldiers, he did not hesitate. The great desolate sword came out with a bang, intertwined with the foreign sky mirror in the void. Soon, the extremely ferocious De Wang sword slashed out the terrifying Huanquan sword Qi, instantly suppressing the sky mirror. But that's it? You lose. When Yang Hao saw this scene, he shook his head in disappointment. The man who controls the Jideo Imperial arms is only an ordinary sage, and can control up to 6 avenues. It is really naive to want to defeat him with the Jideo Imperial armament. He. Just when Yang Hao thought that the opponent was suppressed and was about to be defeated, he heard the alien voice near. Then, a crimson orb surged out and came towards Yang Hao. Another extremely powerful imperial weapon. This alien race is a royal race. Only the royal family among foreign races can be so rich and have the ability to mobilize 2 pieces of Jideo Emperor weapon. It is really despicable to use imperial troops to suppress people. The crimson orb once again surged with imperial energy. Surprisingly, it is also a Jideo Imperial weapon. No wonder he dared to step out. It turned out that there were 2 Jideo Emperor weapons. Yang Hao sneered, "Are you the only one who has it?" He directly hit Wei Tower. At his current strength, he is already mature, and there is no need to hide Wei Tower. Besides, as long as Wei Tower's transformation divine light does not come out, no one will recognize Wei. The origin of the tower, many people are unable to know the power of the Wei Tower. Another extremely powerful imperial weapon. Emperor Zun also has two extremely powerful imperial weapons. That's the Wei Tower. Emperor Zunwei got the Wei Tower when he was young. He never thought that he would never use it. Shocked looks came his way. At this time, some of the powerful men in the Holy Land of Eternal Life also thought about it. Yang Hao did get Wei Tower in the past, but he was too low-key and never used it. Now, although the power of Wei Tower is not strong among imperial weapons, in 2 against 2, Yang Hao's strength exceeds that of his opponent, and the battle situation is no longer in suspense. Who else? The foreign race was suppressed by Yang Hao. He looked down at the world and accepted the fate of the foreign race and said calmly _Fei. Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading.